Hey everyone, a couple of years ago I bought this.
Oh god. You ready? Say cheese!
Once the laughter had faded away after seeing this camera for the first time and completely forgetting I'd bought it, this camera began to intrigue me. I'd never seen anything like this before. With its massively oversized comical flash gun mounted on top, the first thing that sprung to mind for this camera is that was it used for the police force, for taking photographs of perpetrators, or for forensics? Because the LCD screen on the back is in portrait mode, and of course I noticed that logo saying pass photo. So that kind of gave it away really, that this is in fact a camera for taking passport photos. I managed to locate its instruction manual on manuallibs.com, so let's take a quick look at its specifications. The weight of this camera is 940 grams or 2 pound and 1 ounce, and the data compression rate system is JPEG, baseline system. So it has 32 megabytes of flash memory built in. There's no removable card on this camera. In best quality, in high resolution, you're looking at 20 pictures or more, 80 or more in middle resolution, and 200 or more pictures in standard resolution. There is no mention whatsoever in here about megapixels, but I guess really that was more of a selling thing, wasn't it, for the general public? As this camera's not for the general public, it's not important and necessary to mention these numbers. Before we delve into the model we have here, let's have a quick look and see what other models are available in this range of cameras. And straight away, here's an interesting looking machine. This one has a docking bay with a SCSI output by the looks of it, which was an early way of transferring data from devices to a computer. And here's another nice example in the camera museum. That looks like a nice machine actually. It looks very similar to the Canon range of cameras that did the video stills back in the late 80s. This one here looks very old, DKC 2050X, probably late 80s. And this one here, I've actually got a couple of these cameras, but mine are the silver versions, but it looks like this one here has a Firewire port, and that's the only difference. I'll have to make a video about those. Okay, so here it is. Let's take a closer look at its features and buttons and connectivity. As you can see there, I'll just mention as well the rubber grip there, or I say rubber, plastic grip, some sort of rubbery plastic grip, is starting to break down. There's even a bit on the back there and there. Unfortunately, this is one of those early 2000s products, or mid-2000s, that had that effect, that rubber grip. It felt quite nice when it was new, but as it's aged, it's starting to break down, and it's become all sticky, and everything is sticking to it. So I should be trying some IPA to get rid of that. But before we do that, let's just have a look around at the camera itself. So you've got a optical viewfinder there, LED indicator. You can select between camera and probably playback. I can't quite see the symbol there because it's worn off. Wide and zoom, monitor video out because you've got a composite video output there, full size, which is nice to see. Menu button, obviously your standard up, down, left, right, and obviously enter for enter, pushing it inwards. And on the side there, the far side on the left, looking at it from the back, full size printer USB port. DC and 8.4 volts. I've already checked the centre pin is positive. Release, I wonder if that's probably for a flash gun because there's another one there for a standard flash, so that could be for an umbrella flash maybe. And obviously the first massive thing you notice with this is the giant flash gun there. Haven't actually managed to get this to go off yet, so we'll try that throughout the video. On the front there you can see the optical viewport pass through there from the back, and you've got a lens there. Model number DKC C200X, autofocus f7.5 to 19.8mm, a Bluetooth logo there with the light, instant pass photo logo, your picture taking button, and on the top you've got your power on or off. I think that's on there, that's off. Printer, black and white or colour, size, so I'm assuming that's all to do with the printer, and a print button, print alarm. Because I think this will connect to a printer basically via Bluetooth, looking at it. But yeah, so that's the around the sides and the top, and underneath you've got a standard tripod mount there. And I'm pleased to see that the battery terminals are clean. It takes 4 standard AA batteries, and under there, when you pull that out, is a button cell CR2025 for the internal date and time for a guess, maybe for settings. We'll see if that's got any life in it. So yeah, and you can turn it as well. This pivots. So I'm not really quite sure why you would need to pivot, but obviously, as you can see, the viewfinder, or sorry, the display screen is upright like a passport photograph. So we'll pop some batteries in now and see how we get on with that. Now I have tried a DC input on the side, but unfortunately it wouldn't work. So I'm wondering if it's faulty on that side of things. I did check, like I said before, to see if the centre pin was positive, and it is, which is usually standard for Sony. So let's see if these are going to work. There we are, it's flashing green, so it's looking good so far. I can hear the lens moving, and here we are, we've got a menu there. What I'll probably do actually is I'll output this as well. I'll capture the composite video output to see. It's just trying to discover Bluetooth there at the minute. So it's straight away it's looking for a printer, UPDX100, or UPDX100. It's got an address there, so I guess that may have been connected already in the past. And here's some pictures that I've already taken now on the side. I'll show those separately. If I press menu, let's have a look. But basically you've got property, delete all, protect all, setup. So print size list, frame on, power save 3 minutes, size unit millimeters, video output power NTSC, because I had to change that to power because it was on NTSC. Shutter sound clock, battery refresh, I'm not sure what that's for. Could be to do with the flash gun. Memory format because it has internal memory. Firmware version, let's have a look at that. And it is version 1.11. I'll look into that actually to see if there's a upgrade for that. I did have a quick look on Google, but unfortunately there were no updates. Memory format, firmware, USB storage. You can select storage or original, not sure what that means. And you've got Bluetooth there. Can you turn it off? You've got property, change passkey, add printer, remove printer, module on. Let's turn that off. If you'll let me. There we go. So it won't keep hunting now, hopefully, when I turn it back on, or my hand stick into this. Let's switch back to camera. And there you go, you can just about see through there. It's quite handy actually for this video, if I can tilt this that way. And let's see what's in the menu for that. So you've got resolution high, zoom f15.6 to 19.8. Can you change that then? Let's have a look. There you can, 50 to 19mm. Oh, that's handy. So it's on that at the moment. So if I go to 50, record resolution 2288 by 1712. That's on the high. Mid 1280 by 916. Standard 832 by 624. Let's go back to high. OK is return. Auto raise off. Program auto. So can it be programmed then? Let's have a look. Oh, no, we don't want that. OK to return. This menu is a little bit fickle actually. This enter button. Oh, so you've got aperture priority or manual exposure. Oh, that's handy then. So you can change it manually by the looks of it. We'll have a look at that in a second. Flash modes, aperture, f6.3. Well, you can preset the aperture. That's good then. Obviously that will change your depth of field as well. Shutter, this is where the manual is then. So it goes right down to, or half a second, quarter per second, 1/8, 15th, right up to 1,000th. That's good. Probably put that at 60. Exposure compensation there, I think that is. White balance, auto, load save settings. So it's got quite a bit in it then. Transport setting, what's that for then? Transport setting, move lens position. Alright. So that's moving the lens. I guess that's so it can be protected. Lens moving end, please power off. Put the little clock up there, turn it back on again. There we are. It's moved about again, not quite sure what it's doing now. There we go. Right. Oh, we seem to have gone back to having a beeper on now. I didn't notice that before. Don't remember turning it off either. Setup. Print size list again. This is what we had before, wasn't it, on the video playback. Let's turn that sound off because that's quite annoying. You've got shutter sound, we'll have that. Clock. So 2003 then. That's interesting. So that must be when it came out. Because they usually have the first date, don't they? when it came out on the preset. So we're in 2024 now, I think. I'm sure we are. Yeah, we are. I always forget the year. It's all this old stuff I play with, you see. I forget where I am. Plus I'm getting old. So we're in August, I think. Is it? What day is it? I have to look at my phone. I can't remember what day it is. I'm getting old. It is Thursday the 8th. So I don't know when I'll get around to putting this video together. Hopefully soon. So, and time is 3:24. Drive my wife and kids mad and ask what year it is and what day it is. Is that it? Let me go. There we go. Click OK. Yeah, I don't know what battery refresh is. So that's it then for the menu. My hand's literally sticking to it. It's like that film Planes, Trains and Automobiles when Steve Martin's hands get stuck on the dashboard and they end up going between those two trucks. Right. So yeah, that's the monitor out power. So I say LCD or video, so I guess you could have both. So that's that then. Let's see if this flash will work. Let's get the menu back up. Turn the flash on. It's on manual at the moment. Oh, it is on manual, so select OK. So there is no way of... So let's try taking a picture of over there. Oh, it went off. I'm amazed. Because normally when they're this old... See, it's flashing there because it's recharging my flash gun again. Normally when they're this old, the capacitor's gone. And they tend to just put an error code up. But that's worked. Can't believe it. Just going to take another picture now. So one over there. There we go. So that's worked. You can actually hear the flash gun going off. It's that powerful. Oh, it's so sticky. It's horrible. Right, so that's camera mode. So if you go to playback, there we go. That's the picture I just took. And that's the one before. So yeah, so it's working then, isn't it? I think what we'll do next is we'll have a look at getting this sticky stuff off. And then we'll take it out, take some pictures. Because the batteries seem to be lasting, amazingly. Did put 4 Duracells in there. They're quite high up, I think they're 2.4 amps each. And it's still showing on high end pictures. It's saying I've got 15 left. I forget how many were in there now, but we'll look at that later. So next up, let's turn this off. And let's have a look at getting this sticky residue off, if it's even possible. Okay, let's get a bit of IPA on this. So we'll try a small area first. So horrible. Oof. It's going smooth, but it's almost like it's going back to the rubber it was originally. Well, it does seem to be looking a little bit better. We'll see how we get on with that. Probably speed through this in editing. Well, that is definitely looking better. But I suspect that I'm just taking off the top layer, and I bet over time it will probably go back to being sticky again. But we'll see how we get on. I'll stop recording at this point and show you the result at the end. Well, that cleaned up very nicely in the end. I was quite surprised. Oh, I just realised I missed a little bit there, but it's not gone sticky. But yeah, the grips come up quite nice actually, and it does feel quite nice to hold. So I can see why they went for that material. If it wasn't going to clean up, I was going to replace that with a piece of leather instead. Just cut a piece of leather out to fit there because I've got some left over from other projects. So next up, I thought we'd take a look inside, see if we can get this thing open without damaging anything. Because I'm curious as to know why that DC input's not working, because our batteries are not lasting long at all, especially with that behemoth flash gun there. So let's see if we can get this open and see what's going on in here. It could just be a case of a bad power supply, a bad capacitor on the power supply circuit. You never know, it could be something as simple as that. Or it could just be a loose wire, or maybe that circuit's just broken. Quite a few screws on this. It's a very plasticky camera. Got a bit of weight to it, even without the batteries. Well, there's two parts to this, isn't there? So I don't really need to do the screws on that side. It's just this side I want to get into. So I'll leave that actually. Right then, let's have a look. Got to watch out for that capacitor actually, because it could still have some charge in it, the one for the flash gun. Oh, actually, it looks like there's some more screws there, look, on those caps. Yeah, there is. Oh, that's a shame, because I'm not going to get those stickers back on. Right, yeah, There we go, this should be it now. Here we are. Oh, blimey. Got some date codes there. It ran from 03, 04 and 05, and this was marked 03, 04. So it's at least 20 years old. More than I thought it was going to be. Some serious shielding there. Very interesting. Wasn't expecting there to be that much in here, but then I guess it has got the lens mechanism, hasn't it? The motor. You can see some gearing in there. Looks like that board unplugs. There's a couple of sockets there. It's this bit here that I'm interested in seeing in there, really. Hopefully it's just a bad connection. Oh, where's the capacitor? Oh, there says 185 watts. I don't know what component that is. I was expecting. Oh, there it is. I can see it now. It's just down in there. It's not as big as I thought it was going to be, actually. So it looks like the bulb's right in there, and it reflects up into here. One screw there, actually. That's probably the back of the CCD. Oops. So that was soldered on slightly on there. Right, we're in a bit further now. Lots of ribbon cables. Just going to put that screw back in. I took out there because it doesn't need to be out, to give it some stability. So I've just undone that screw there and one in that shaft. I'm going to undo these two, so I think that might let me lift everything out as a whole unit, because I don't really want to be taking that back board off there for the CCD, so I don't want to contaminate the imaging chip. So we'll see if this works. Don't need to go to town on this really, because it is working off batteries. It's not like I'm ever going to need to use it off the mains. It just would have been handy, because obviously while I'm filming, batteries are going down quickly and I'm having to stop for the demonstrations. There we go, Rin. So that's the other side. That's the capacitor there. It's probably still got a charge in it. Just looking at the DC board there, there's no capacitors there for that side. There could be something under that shield, but I'm not going to mess around on soldering that. I don't think there would be. It could just be a bad connection, a bad joint on the board, so I might have a look at that next. And there's not a lot on there at all, is there, on the power PCB? Interesting to know, look, that lens, I noticed it before actually, it's slightly off-centre. I wonder why that is. The capacitor is 330 volt, 330 US. So it holds 330 volts, wow. That's the bulb there, look. The size of that tripod now, not there. Yes. So we'll have a look at that connection, the DC plug. We'll see if there's any bad connections. I'll do that off camera. So I've just checked the DC input for the meter on the connections. It is getting its voltage. So there's obviously a problem on the DC to DC converter board there, which I'm not going to mess around with. The camera's working fine as it is with batteries, so I'm just going to live with it as it is. So I'm going to put this back together now, and next up we'll have a look at some photographs. I thought I might have trouble connecting this camera to Windows 10, but sure enough, as soon as I plugged it in, it was recognised. It came up straight away without any problems at all. It even displayed the camera's model number next to the drive letter. So after having a mess about with the camera and its settings, I started taking photographs. And one of the first things that I noticed was, pictures are very good using the Mammoth flash gun, but without the flash gun they seem to be quite blurry. Sometimes the exposure almost seemed a little bit yellow, almost like the white balance was off. And even after messing about with the settings and changing the white balance and even going to manual exposure, things still weren't quite right. And when I took it out the very next day on a bright day, pictures were looking fine at first, but then suddenly things started to go wrong. Pictures were becoming completely overexposed and just yellow looking. In fact, you can only just about make out what some of them are. Not quite sure what's going on here. It's almost like the iris blades are stuck in the open position. But when you preview the photograph before you take it in the viewfinder, everything seems fine. But then after being switched off for half an hour or more, pictures were good again. So I'm really not sure what's going on here. Well, there you have it, the Sony DKC C200X passport camera from around 2003. Bit of a sad ending for this camera because obviously it's not working properly. Though I did just watch back the unboxing video for this from 2 years ago, and the seller did state it doesn't actually work properly. But I'm going to try taking a picture now. And there we go, so yeah, it's actually working properly again, so it's intermittent faults. Well, it looks like we can end this video on a high then at least. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching that with me. As always, thanks for watching, and until the next video, I'll be seeing you. And if you did enjoy watching this video, you may want to take a look at some of my other videos on similar themes. I'm always buying something on eBay, some more piece of technology, and trying to repair it. And as always, don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thanks for watching.